Bună seara, dragii mei! O să împărtășesc cu voi în această seară experiența unei cunoașteri la care am avut și eu acces și în curând veți avea acces și voi, chiar aici în România, spre deosebire de mine, care am călătorit și călătoresc la Londra pentru a avea acces la această cunoaștere. Este vorba despre Școala Misterelor și despre ce înseamnă pentru viața noastră a avea acces la o astfel de cunoaștere esoterică. Alături de mine, pentru a discuta despre această oportunitate pe care o avem noi românii, dar și despre ceea ce înseamnă Școala Misterelor într-un sens mai larg, este Shani Lehrer, CEO Modern Mystery School Israel. Good evening, Shani.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for being here with us at Channel 33.
Thank you for having me.
Before speaking about the Mystery School, I want to invite you to tell us a little bit about your story with spirituality, because people are interested as well to know about the teacher, as to know about the knowledge. So, when your journey with spirituality began, and what can you share with us about this?
Well, my journey begins as early as my life, I would say. And as a child, I had many gifts, which some people who did not very much understand them thought were problems. I used to have the ability to see different things. So I would see a person and another person and another person around the person. And I would see, today I would call it seeing auras. But back then it was a big problem. And my parents were scared and didn't understand what this was. And they thought I was seeing double. And so they took me to the doctor to make sure I didn't have a brain tumor because I was seeing double. And so there was this, feeling of, on the one hand, I see something which fills me with amazingness and connection, and on the other hand, it's met by a lot of fear and worry of sickness or of abnormality or, something that was out of the normal way of seeing things. And I believed so deeply that this was connected with a sickness by the time that I got to the doctor, that when the doctor showed me the brain scan, I was 6 years old, and said, you don't have a brain tumor and you are not sick, therefore you shouldn't be seeing double. When I looked up from the brain scan, I could not see double anymore. And so throughout my life, there were various places in which the external beliefs of what was normal and what was abnormal slowly chipped away at the absolute amazingness that I was experiencing with all my senses being very, very open.
You internalized these beliefs of the others, accepted them as your truth, and you lost your abilities, therefore.
Exactly. So, by believing that something does not exist enough, we stop seeing it. And it's as simple as, sometimes we have people in our life which are, we want to believe that we love them and they're amazing and absolutely perfect for us, but they are, not so nice or giving us a really hard time, but it takes time to see it because we believe that everything is great, right? So this is the power of belief. And, it is said that when the Americans came with boats, the Aborigines, they did not see the boats because they did not know that a boat exists. So they didn't believe it. So when we stop believing something, it may be as strong as to actually take it away from our awareness. Or when we don't know something exists, or when we think something is very abnormal and cannot exist, then we will not see it, And so this is what happened to me, as you say. And from a very open child with a lot of gifts and a lot of extrasensory abilities, I slowly became normal, if you will, or, accepted.
And you made your parents happy, becoming
yes,
normal.
I did. They were very happy, and bless them today. they understand, the what actually had happened, and they're amazing, and they're very connected as well to spirituality and spirit in a way that back then they didn't have access to, and so they couldn't share with me. And therefore, when you ask me later, I'll tell you how important it is for parents to raise their awareness, because children will come with fairies and with I see this and I see that. And, the more the parent is aware, the more they can actually allow their child to grow into not forgetting the absolute amazing gifts that everybody comes in with.
And so what made you shift back into perception, into awareness, into spirituality?
Thank you for asking that. Well, I had been, before that, very invested as a growing up teenager in my normal, getting the job, being in quite normal way of growing up, going to find the job that will get me the correct status and money and all of that I was very programmed to become. And at some point, I had never stopped searching, but I did forget this childhood experience. Until at some point, I had a very good life. I was making a lot of money. I had a good job. I was also writing some movies, so I was very involved in my artistic life as well as my business life, if you will. And I had a boyfriend, and everything was set up perfectly. And I was meditating. This was my connection with spirit. I was meditating, and I was teaching people how to be coached into having a really good life. So I was a business coach, and I was sharing what I understood as making yourself the best version of yourself that you can be, through emotional work, through mental work, through getting the things right and organized so the life can be as we want it to be. And then I met a doctor, and she's a pediatric surgeon. And she showed up in Israel, and I knew about her because I'd heard about her that she was a doctor, but also a shaman. And when she showed up at that time in Israel, she was offering something called a DNA activation or a life activation. And I was very curious. And I did not believe in all this spiritual mumbo jumbo. I was very practical. Give me the coaching so I can be the best person that I can be. And I'll share that with people as well. Give me the leadership skills and give me the communication skills, and all of that was good. But the too much spirituality was out there, and I didn't think that was interesting. But at some point there is a reading. And during this reading, she said the names of two of my best friends of childhood. Only these friends were not physical friends. They were my imaginary friends who I had sent away because they were not normal, and I wanted to be normal.
To explain a little bit for our audience, when you speak about this reading, it's like a mental perception, like a mediumic perception, yes, of the client, of the person.
Yes.
And she was able, through this psychic perception, to tell you the names of your childhood friends, imaginary friends. And that shocked you for sure.
That blew me away because I had forgotten them. And I had forgotten that I had forgotten them. And when she said their names, I had, sometimes when we touch on trauma, this is very much, psychology work. When we touch on trauma, we have a physical reaction. And I had an absolute physical, I started crying, I was trembling, and suddenly I remembered them, and not only I remembered them, I looked up from this life activation, and as soon as I looked up, suddenly I had a problem because I could see double again. And so this was a very profound spiritual experience for me because I started this life activation as an experiment, if you will, as a curious experiment. And I came out with a whole memory of parts of myself that I had shut down in childhood in order to be normal.
And this was your starting point in the mystery school, first of all, experiencing this life activation.
Yes.
And after that, progressing on the way till you are the CEO of the Modern Mystery School in Israel.
Yes, and yes, and this title is a title really, and I mainly am guiding. I work at guiding people and assisting them to remember the parts of themselves that they have maybe forgotten, which they seek to remember. So yes, I became a life activation practitioner myself, and I went to Empower Thyself after a lot of resistance because I wanted my normal life to continue. And though I had seen the proof, I was still struggling for a while to accept the so much more that is there of myself. And it took me a little while, but once I said, okay, I was so stunned and, taken by the fact that the tools were so powerful and took everything that I knew in my mind to be true, to become really embodied and to become really, initiation is the way to remember not only by thought, but also by the ability to take it into action. And, a lot of things that I knew I needed to change, or I knew I needed to improve, or I knew I needed to, a lot of times we know what we need to do, but we don't do it, suddenly became who I was physically and who I was able to do and to act upon. So that's a big thing that then took me to understand that I want to share this with as many people as I can. And yes, then I opened the school in Israel, and today I'm working all over the planet really, as I remember, to remind whoever wants to remember.
Is it relevant or important that you are from Israel, the place where this knowledge actually emerged?
Well, the knowledge emerged or was reorganized by King Solomon, indeed. I did not learn this, or my origin, or Judaic background, if you will, or Israel in itself, is not necessarily a key to it. I actually learned it outside of Israel, mainly. My main teachings were outside of Israel with people who were not necessarily born to a Jewish background. This is very much universal teachings and universal keys that are Western keys to remembering our essence and origin in spirit.
What can you tell us as a general presentation about Mystery School in terms of what does differentiate this school from other spiritual schools around the world?
I would say lineage is maybe not completely different, because there are lineages around the world as well as the King Solomon lineage. But I would say lineage is a very big key. And the fact that the King Solomon modalities, the healing modalities, the initiations that are given and shared with the public are going through 3,000 years, and if you go back to Hermes, 8,000 years, and are time-tested, working, connected by a line of energy which moves through and then makes them very fertile and very powerful keys and tools for awakening, which are the difference between a new technology that just emerged, and then it has to go through the test of time to make sure that it's safe and it's good. And with lineage, you are working with what the sages and the masters of light have worked on the planet for thousands and thousands of years. And that's what makes this very, very powerful.
Do you have any way to actually sense this lineage so it's much more tangible than just a thought or something that you are told?
Well, I can through my tools, and I think those who have the tools can probably speak to it as well, which means the tools themselves and the powers of the tools that are shared and given through the power of initiation are very potent. And those who use them consistently will say, I've done so many other things, I've tried so many ways, and somehow this holds an energy that I have not met before. And we hear this consistently, and we see this in experiences with people consistently throughout the board. So those who actually take them and use them definitely will see the results in their life and the fruits, and also sense as we grow in our extrasensory perception, which happens as well. will be able to sense them very tangibly. Yes.
You'll come in Romania soon, like in a month or something like that?
I am so looking forward. I love Romania and my brothers and sisters there, and as well as you, Alexandru. And yes, I am in Romania. My dear colleague Sasha, we're going to be there at the end of February.
And what will you teach in this session in Romania?
We will be sharing many tools of power, and the first one of them, which is the first step on the path of initiation, is the Empower Thyself class and initiation. We're doing 2 days. We're going to be diving into the secrets of the universe. It's a 2-day immersion into where we come from, who we are, where we come from, why we're here, what is our purpose in life. And each in their individual journey will go through a 2-day workshop, which ends with a ceremony of initiation where the whole energetic structure of a person will be enhanced and reconnected with this that is the essence of who we truly are.
And it's a very practical teaching. You teach a lot of exercises, a lot of techniques, tools that one can use daily to improve his life.
Yes, the class is full of content, also teaching that is mental, so understanding of the structures of the human and how we're built and how to work with the energy better in our life and how to enhance our life through doing that. And also, as you say, very practical tools that are, how do I protect my energy field from any lower vibrational frequency or thoughts or emotions that sometimes get stuck in our system? How do I learn to call upon the more power and beings that are available to help us and to work with us in our life? How do I create a sacred space of inspiration and light and creative force to work in my life? And so many tools of power that we share. How do I create healing for myself and my system and the people around me as well, through the fact that I heal myself and my space? And many, many tools that are there to reconnect. Remember, it's like a toolkit for the spiritual seeker if they were alone on a desert island, to be completely taken care of on all levels, including connecting with your higher self, meaning continued connection with any questions and answers of your higher self and of your highest purpose in life, to be able to continually communicate with you and be in touch with you. So that's one of the things we're going to be doing in the 2 days workshop that is happening.
What have you witnessed in the lives of the people that you teach, and you're able to keep in touch with them and see how they are doing in their lives? How this teaching is impacting them?
Well, Alexandru, what can I say? I mean, magic, true magic and miracle on every level. And there are different ways of people to integrate the knowledge. Some people come and say, I want these 2 days to change my life forever, and they have the potential to do that. But I always say, one is not going to just change their life like this unless they are actively a part of it. The angels will help us when we are there physically doing the work as well. So those who take the knowledge and the tools and implement it in their life experience absolute transformation on every level. I've seen people take and write their books and go out and do their mission and sound their voices in the various ways in which they are here to serve life and to be served by life. And it starts with, again, the books and the music that's out there, and the businesses that are created, and the life that is harmonized, that was maybe not harmonized before within family and community, and an enhanced level of peace inside and outside. Some are world leaders that are, manifesting extreme transformation on a world level. Some do it on a more personal level, but there's, in any case and in all cases, extreme transformation, relinquishes a chain of deep addictions that have been around for a long time, enhanced abundance on the level of spirit, but also enhanced ability to bring love and share that was maybe less before, but also financial abundance, and also, anything that one needs in order to serve their purpose in life, in order to serve their mission in life and be more connected with why they're here.
What I can say as a testimony is that I had the honor and privilege to have this initiation in my life, and thank you very much. And how I felt as an impact in my life is clarity of what I want and that what I feel is my purpose. So my impact was clarity and more determination and focus and courage to follow through. So this way it was my personal way to feel the impact of this initiation and teachings for this first step. But it is a first step in a journey that you can follow, and you are some steps ahead of you to pursue this knowledge. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely, and thank you so much for sharing this, Alexandra. It's very clear as you say it, and as it's coming through for you, and it's just beautiful to hear, and I'm very touched by it. And yes, definitely. The path to grow, or anyone who tells you that growing stops, you do it and then it's done, will go against the laws of nature, really, because we're constantly growing and the universe is constantly expanding. And in that same way, the initiatory path is a path that can be walked by those who say, I am done telling myself stories or living a life of conformed normality or the safe way. Like you say, it takes courage to say, I am going to live my voice fully. I am going to share my light fully. The world is in a place where actually, I have some gifts that if I share them fully, that I can do one or two good things for the community around me and the world as a whole. And so all of that is definitely there. And we learn the first step of initiation is empower thyself. We empower ourselves. And for those who choose to walk on this path forward, they can then go and learn how to serve others, and at a very big level, and then hopefully and potentially serve the world as ritual masters and share tools of clearing energetically and bringing in more light, force, and energy to raise the vibration of the planet and of the world as a whole.
Is it a community of the people who are following these teachings? Can one find friends or colleagues or people with whom to share their experiences?
Absolutely. And wherever, we're in 60 countries today.
60?
Around the world. 60, yes. And wherever there is someone on the ground, there will be someone who has either had initiation, or there's a guide on the ground, or there's a healer on the ground, which has the different modalities which people can be assisted by. And so definitely, there's a long list of certified practitioners that is findable on every one of the Modern Mystery School sites that one can seek out and find by country and by city who's there, who's able to serve them and with them. And we have online gatherings where we come together for those who seek and desire to do so. And we have many points of contacts that are there for those who wish and who want to enhance their continued journey with a community of people who are like-minded, for sure.
Would you go back, if given the chance, from this transformation?
Well, no, I would not. But if you'd asked me 15 years ago if I would be doing work with crystals and sharing with people how they can enhance their senses and sharing about, angelic forces, or about sacred geometry and the power of geometry in our life, and the power of initiation and soul body and spirit body. If you would have asked me 15 years ago, Shani, would you be talking about these things? I would say, are you crazy? I'm sorry, but I would say that. And today, looking back, I wouldn't take away a step on any step of my path. But I am extremely grateful to be here now, because this has definitely been the greatest gift of empowerment, which allows me today to empower in such an impact with my dear colleagues and friends, people to really step into their greatness and really embody their greatness in a way that I had a lot of understanding of before, and today I can say is really able to be embodied and shared in a way that people can then take and walk in their life, not just think about.
How can you incorporate the energy in you in order to travel the world and teach? I imagine it's quite demanding in terms of energy.
I sometimes ask myself that question. After nights of sleeping very little, because every day there's a flight or there's a lot of people coming forward and to be served. And the truth is, when there is complete relaxation, as we move very quickly sometimes, and when there's absolute support, and I feel supported. This is not my energy. This is my energy and all of the rest of the energy of the power of initiation that is there as well. Then we are able to do things that are very much mind over matter. And so, with some good self-care along the way and a lot of support from the energy, anything is possible. And again, if you'd asked me 15 years ago, I would say this is impossible to live like this. And today I tell you, you know what? Bring it on. Where is service needed? I'll show up.
In the latest minutes of our interview this evening, I want to kindly ask you for a message from your part to our audience, the Romanians, whatever you feel that you have as a message for them.
So to you, my beloved Romanians, what I would say is, please believe that you are great. And please know that you are great. And please know that everything is possible. And wherever you have a point at the end of a line saying, only this is possible, or I am like this, or life is like this, or Romania is like this, wherever you have a dot or exclamation mark at the end of your sentence, please put a question mark and say, maybe there is more than what I know about my own abilities, about my own gifts, about my country's abilities, about the world's abilities to change, to shift, to grow, and to be embodying this that you are able to imagine, but sometimes you feel that it's too far to create. And when you start putting these question marks, you come closer to the ability, step by step, to embodying them. And so please continue believing and knowing this that you know in your awareness that is possible. And by doing that, you are bridging the gap.
Thank you very much, Shani. With your permission, we will put the link of the event in the comments below our interview for people to find it easier to enter and possibly register to your event in Romania.
This will be fantastic, and I look forward to seeing you, Alexandru, and thank you so much for hosting this. And yes, please post the event. I spoke about one. There are many happening in Romania when we come, and there's a big open event that's there, and there's sacred geometry classes happening, and we're really offering a lot of things for anyone who is desiring to meet more of you to come and be with us. So thank you, Alexandru, for opening the platform, for sharing this.
Thank you very much, Shani. Vă mulțumim și dumneavoastră, stimați telespectatori, pentru că ne-ați urmărit. O formă de cunoaștere milenară cu impact foarte puternic. la care puteți avea acces și aici, în România, fără să trebuiască să călătoriți în alte părți ale lumii, așa cum am făcut eu pentru a avea acces la această cunoaștere. Voi posta în comentarii sub acest interviu link-ul către evenimentele din România pentru aceia dintre dumneavoastră care sunteți interesați să vedeți mai multe detalii și posibil să vă înscrieți la eveniment. Cu aceasta vă mulțumesc, o seară excelentă, pe curând!